Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Eric May, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from Kneat Solutions. Please note, you can submit questions in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view the company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Scheduled Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I am very pleased to welcome Eddie Ryan, CEO, co-founder, and executive director of Kneat Solutions, which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol KSIOF, and also in the TSX under the symbol KSI. Welcome, Eddie.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. Let me start with a reminder that the following presentation contains forward-looking information. Forward-looking statements made within it represent Kneat's expectations based on its knowledge, plans, and estimates as of the date of this presentation. Subsequent events may cause this knowledge, plans, or estimates to change, which may lead to different outcomes. Welcome. My name is Eddie Ryan, and I'm the CEO and one of three co-founders of Kneat. Over the next 5 minutes, I will give you an overview of Kneat, including why Kneat is the leader in validation for life sciences, why the world's largest pharmaceutical companies not only stick with Kneat, but buy more, and why we expect to continue our strong growth trajectory far into the future. Kneat's story begins when we were working as engineers in pharmaceutical manufacturing. This industry is highly regulated, and rightly so, as human lives are at stake. We needed to test and prove that our systems and processes were doing what they were designed to do. This means testing and documenting test data to a high standard and keeping it readily available for many years to come. By doing all of this on paper was not scalable, so we created a platform that enables real-time data capture for a fully digital solution for validation or e-validation. This is not scanning papers in to create massive archives of digital images, but capturing the data as it is created during the testing, which is far more efficient because it is a byproduct of the process itself, as opposed to a separate additional process. As such, e-validation eliminates paper-based processes completely, along with the data integrity issues that come with it. It automates manual tasks, enables instant global collaboration and data visibility, reduces risk, saves money, is greener, and results in higher quality, audit-ready data. And as innovation in the life sciences industry accelerates with the incorporation of AI, biotech breakthroughs, and personalized medicines, ensuring quality at speed is critical for life sciences companies wanting to compete at scale, because there are a lot of processes involved in the safe manufacture of drugs and devices. Companies are required to test and document everything from the installation, cleaning, and maintenance of equipment and facilities, to the supporting computer systems and utilities, to the final distribution of the finished product to its recipient. Within life sciences, there are up to 10 different validation processes, and each requires software licenses for its specific group of users. All of this is to ensure everything has been done to a high quality and in compliance with the regulations. If the data cannot be trusted, the consequences for a company are grave. Today, our total addressable market globally exceeds $2 billion in annual recurring revenue and includes industries represented by our customer base, which ranges from small biotech to big pharma and the supply chain surrounding it, as drug makers often dictate to their vendors and distributors how things need to be done when it comes to validation. The majority of the 20 largest global pharmaceutical companies, including 8 of the top 10, have selected Kneat as their digital validation platform. There is room within our current customer base alone to more than double our annual recurring revenue, as these customers scale Kneat to all their sites and processes. In the 10 years since our first sale, no customer has left Kneat for a competitor, and we are winning new customers all the time. Case study after case study, which can be read on our website, highlight all the value customers get from Kneat, including cycle times cut in half, productivity doubling, and multiple legacy processes being absorbed by the Kneat platform. After customers experience how much better digital validation is, they roll it out across more sites and more processes globally, And what began as small initial revenue multiplies over the next several years as the Kneat platform rolls out. While this expansion within our current customers is what drives most of our revenue growth, brand new customers contribute as well. New customers come from a number of places. They could be a supplier to or distributor of a manufacturer that is using Kneat, brought to us by a partner, discovered by our direct sales force, or they heard of us and came to us directly because our users are promotional. Knowing adoption by others benefits the platform as a whole. While Kneat's software is easy to use, Kneat Academy serves as a resource for those rolling Kneat out across their organizations or for partners bringing Kneat to their clients. The headway we have made in the marketplace is proven by our financial progress over the past several years. Our annual revenue has more than tripled in just the past 2 years. The primary driver for this growth has been our software as a service revenue, which for 2022 was more than 6 times its level from just 2 years before. As software as a service revenue becomes a larger share of our overall revenue, gross margins are benefiting, expanding to 66% in our most recent quarter versus 56% for the second quarter of 2022. To summarize, Kneat is transforming quality processes for life sciences with an initial focus on the big problem area of validation. Our highly differentiated technology has positioned Kneat as the global leader in a market with high barriers to entry. Our strong organic growth year after year reflect the value we are creating at every level. Users get an easy-to-use software that automates what were highly manual tasks. Their leads get peace of mind on data integrity and retrieval. Their C-suite gets return on investment, and we all benefit from this more climate-friendly approach to validation. Thank you for taking the time to learn about Kneat, and don't hesitate to reach out if you would like to learn more. Thank you. So this takes me to some questions. Kneat has most of the top pharmas today, but isn't Veeva entering this marketplace soon? So the answer to that question is yes, Veeva has a product in the marketplace and it seems to be in early stage at this point in time, but it's still just after entering the marketplace, and it will take some time for this to become a mature product that is market ready. So, it's taken Kneat over 10 years to develop its platform. So we are very confident with the competitive advantage that we have built into our technology at this point in time. Next question. Kneat is an Irish company. How did you end up on the Toronto Stock Exchange? Very, very good question. So in the early days of Kneat, we funded Kneat through private rounds amongst family and friends. The Irish government, through its investment vehicle, invested in the company and all of that. So it came to a point in time where we needed to find a longer runway for the company to be able to fund it into the future, to be able to give confidence to these big pharma companies who are interested in buying our product. So some private investors we had controlled a shell company in the Toronto Ventures Exchange. We reversed into that and acquired the cash assets. And a couple of years later, we upgraded to the major market, the Toronto Stock Exchange. Next question. Can you cohort the customer base a bit? Say the number of customers over 1 million of ARR. So that's a very good question. In our reporting, we do talk a little bit to this. And we do see that from that you can tell that there's one customer in our total revenue that accounts for over 10% of our revenue, and I think 10%. I think 10 customers. I could have this number wrong, but if you look at the reports, you will see this. I think 10 customers, our highest customers, give us approximately 50% of our revenue. And that number, I would urge you to check that number because I could be a little bit out on that. So just to say that, all of our customers are multi-million potential annual recurring revenue customers. They start small, with one or two processes, and then they expand these processes across all their sites. The one thing to remember is these customers, when they purchase Kneat, they're purchasing Kneat as a corporate solution to their e-validation, to enable validation globally across all their companies and across all their sites and processes. So that's the intent, and that we sign master service agreements with them. We agree pricing with them up front, and as they go up in quantities, they get discounts in the pricing. And over 3 to 5 years, they will be multi-million annual recurring revenue customers. So that is the expectation. So just to put some more color around that for you. Next question. Can you give a competitor landscape update? What is your current view of ValGenesis? So Kneat is, ValGenesis has been around in the marketplace longer than Kneat. Kneat has come into the market and has developed a product. One of the main competitive advantages of Kneat is it developed a product from the ground up. Not bringing in a legacy software system and trying to squeeze it into the life sciences, but built it from the ground up by people who had worked in pharmaceutical manufacturing, who understood the process. So by doing so, we created a very strong, easy to use, scalable platform that has regulatory capabilities built into its DNA. So for that reason, we fast became the leader in the industry. And, as we go forward, we continue to build on that leadership position. And when it comes to the final selection of vendors in most RFPs, it usually gets down to between Kneat and ValGenesis. And Kneat generally wins all the key decisions. So moving on a little bit there then to the next question. Where do you see Kneat in 3 to 5 years' time? Very good question. So today our core market is validation, and we're working on building that out to ensure that we give the best value to customers for all their validation processes. So you think of 10 validation processes, and we have a customer that has 9,000 users globally on our platform. So each of our customers, and that's our most advanced customer. So each of our larger customers can be that size, and they're all on that journey as we speak. They've all gone beyond the early stages, and they're in the mid-level stages, expanding these across all their sites. So in 3 to 5 years' time, we expect to really nail down our leadership position in validation, but also to address adjacent areas where our customers are already asking us to go, but we're saying to them, not yet. We're consolidating our technology and our leadership in the validation platform. So we're a total validation solution for everything our customers want to do in the validation space. But listening to our customers and working really closely with them, we're working on adjacent areas in parallel. So the next question. How many customers can you realistically expect in a few years? What is the pharma TAM in terms of number of customers? That's a great question. So I think it's really important to say that we believe there's a huge amount of customers out there, and they're not all in the we call the strategic large space. But when we look at the large customers we have, and take one of our most evolved customers has 9,000 users. It's a multi-million annual recurring revenue customer. And we believe that customer is even still, even though it's a large customer at that level, we think it's early in its journey on Kneat, and we think there's a lot more upside on that in the future. So, when we believe that in our current customer base, we see more than 65 million in annual recurring revenue, US dollars in annual recurring revenue in our current white space, our current customer space. And that's just for validation. When we go to adjacent areas, we see that expanding significantly more. Today we have, I think our last we order of magnitude, we announced about 80 customers recently enough. So we have, north of that, and we see, we see a very strong pipeline in our sales process, and we see plenty of customers out there for the foreseeable future. But not just that, but we see a huge amount of adjacencies that we can sell more to our existing customers with. The next question is, more color. Can I provide more color around my sales and marketing resources and channels? Yes, of course. So we have we have multiple processes, right? So we have what we call our hunters, our sales directors, who go after new customers, who are the revenue from them initially will be small enough, but they're the expanders of the future. They become the big customers into the subsequent years. And then we have what we call account managers, who are nurturing the existing customers and chasing that expansion ARR from them. Like I spoke about, that can be multi-millions in annual recurring revenue. Supporting that, we have customer success teams, customer success managers, customer success engineers who actually enable the customers to expand and make sure we get really deep and intimate with our customers. So that's our kind of structure of our business. There's also sales and marketing division and the sales business SBRs that work within marketing, and we have pre-sale team as well. So we also work closely with the channels and partners in the industry, and we see the partner channel becoming much more enabled over the last year or so, and they're now taking our product to the marketplace and deploying our product and expanding our product with our customers, and also addressing the smaller customers in the marketplace. So we have the channel partners are very important to us, and we believe they will be most instrumental in the smaller customer segment, where they can become resellers for us, and all that's showing great level of utilization and becoming I'm confident that it's really becoming a solid route to market. So the next question: can you update your partner effort? This seems important as pharma looks to more outside help and validation. Yeah, that's just a little bit more elaboration on what I spoke about. The partners are becoming very instrumental in this whole model, and everybody, the partners are very close to the customers, and they have the ear of the customer, and they're in there solving validation problems from on a daily basis. And today they can offer multiple services. They can offer people who can work in the Kneat platform. So the customer, like a big pharma company has it, they can go in and become validation engineers on consultancy to them. They can also, help Kneat to deploy its product to new customers, small and big. And they can also be there for the customer when they want to expand to a second process, like adjacencies or a second process within the validation space. And they can do some process mapping with them, which is mapping their process on the Kneat platform. I stress that there's no coding involved in that whatsoever. So they can expand to multiple different use cases, processes, and all they need is to do some process mapping and set it up on the system once they've installed the platform. So the partners are becoming very instrumental from all of that, and we're very, very confident that that's a very strong route to market for us. Next question. While you haven't had churn yet, can you address what would be the hardest parts of a company to consider switching? Just change management and data transfer. Can you address what would be the hardest parts for a company to consider switching? So one thing to say here, this is a really mission critical process that we're automating for the customer and digitizing. And they're capturing really regulated data that must be available for audit when the FDA arrives at their door. And it must be there for many years into the future. So customers make really deep decisions, especially the big pharma companies when they're purchasing a system. They don't buy this easily. They go through real hard due diligence. They must come and audit Kneat. They must spend 3 days auditing Kneat's processes to see how we design and develop software and support it in the marketplace, how we deliver it as well, to be confident that they can purchase Kneat. They're not buying short term, they're buying for the long term. So they are concerned about, choosing the right product so that they know not just is it a product that works well, is easy to use, can scale, and is performant at scale, and they can roll it out globally. So, but it's also enabling the compliance within the processes. So big decision for them, and they're putting their data in here, and they want to be in there for 30, 40 years into the future. So it's a very sticky product from that perspective. If you look after your customers, you will not be taken out easily. There's a huge amount of data. I mean, some of our customers have millions and millions of data points and documents within the application at this point in time. Next question. You've branched out from pharma into other areas where validations are key. Can you tell us more about that strategy? Yeah, I suppose really when we look at our marketplace right now, it's primarily the core is life sciences, pharmaceutical manufacturers, biopharma manufacturers, same term almost, medical device manufacturers, and all the supply chain to them. We have big customers on the logistics side who deliver products for them. We have big customers on the actual distribution side who are responsible for bringing product to the point of sale, such as to the drugstores and the pharmacies and that. And we have lots of other suppliers into the industry, such as engineering companies, equipment vendors. There's lots of significant companies in this space, small and big, and we're applicable to all of them. And one of the really great things is having such a strong foothold in the big pharma companies. They're requesting all their suppliers and their partners to use Kneat. And they're coming to Kneat to see what Kneat does, and then they're saying, well, great, we can use this for all our customers. So that's the core market for us right now, just to be clear on that. Adjacent to that really is the consumer product goods, the companies. And they're applicable because they also come under the guidance of the FDA and European Medicine Agency. They must comply with these regulations, and they must do validation as well. So, parts of their business are subject to validation. So we do have big companies in that space as well that are part of our customer base. But I will say that addressing a consumer products goods company is almost like addressing a pharmaceutical company for the same use cases. Use cases don't change, so it doesn't dilute our sales force or our team in any way. We don't have to do anything different to address them. So that would be and we have a number of customers there. I would also say that some of the big pharma companies have consumer product goods divisions that are large as well associated with them. And the next question, you've branched out from pharma into other areas where validations are key. No, we just spoke about that actually. So obviously we're not going anytime soon. We're not going to be, just to reiterate that, anytime soon we're not going to be going to a whole new vertical. Right now, we believe we're applicable to those verticals in the future, but we have a huge amount to do in our core, and our core is a huge marketplace. We're addressing more than a $2 billion US dollar TAM at this point in time. So let me just see if there's more questions there. Okay. Can you talk about your journey to break even? Growth looks great, but when should investors expect break even or cash burn? Any thoughts on long-term margins? So I think the important thing to say is that as we move forward, we become a total SaaS only company. In other words, we don't have any on-premise customers, so it's subscription revenues only at this now. So just to say that our margins are tacking up, as you would expect, as we converge towards a pure SaaS company. And as we go forward, we're also we don't want to become a professional services company. Our goal is to be a great software company, and professional services really is kind of supporting improving our annual recurring revenue subscriptions. So we see partners becoming very instrumental in dealing with a lot of the services in the industry, and they're showing that they're able to do that, and that's happening in parallel as we speak. So we don't forecast break even time, but we can say that if you look at our numbers, that we have line of sight into break even, and how we approach that, and what we prioritize in the foreseeable future, will dictate finally when that is. But we would say that we put a lot of staff into the company in the last year or so, and this year 23 has been more of an easing off, growing into that level of staff that we hired in at the end of 22 and early 23. So we don't see going into the future, we're growing into a strong team. We don't see our overheads expenses rising as quickly as they did in the past relative to revenues. So So I just, that's how I leave it for the moment. We have clarity and visibility into line of sight, and we will, make decisions on that as we go forward. Next question. How much customization is involved when a customer buys Kneat? I mean, this is one of the great things about Kneat. There is no customization. Kneat is, it can apply to 10. One of our customers has more than 10 processes. We call them use cases. So cleaning validation is a use case. Equipment validation is a use case. Process validation is a use case. So, they start normally with one use case. And then, each use case has a different cohort of users. And each cohort of users require licenses. And that's how our ARR grows. And then you have to expand those from one site to the next across multiple sites. So one of our customers has 9,000 users for more than 10 use cases across 30 sites. That's our most evolved customers. That's, the type of, order of magnitude that we're talking about here. So I think the key thing is that, just double down that question again, actually. So customization. So once you put Kneat in, first of all you're doing when you have the platform in, you have to validate the Kneat platform because it too is a regulated product that's involved in the manufacturing of drugs. When you install it, you configure your process. You only configure your use case. So you'll say, take cleaning validation. How do I do cleaning validation today? Okay, map that on the Kneat platform. There is no coding whatsoever. And then when you're finished with that, you go ahead and expand to the next process. First process, as part of the initial deployment, then additional processes are easily added on into the future. And they can be done by partners, by the customer themselves, or by Kneat people. So there's no customization. That's very important. And we only develop a product for the market. We don't customize whatsoever. Next question. Could you move into other quality management spaces outside of validation? Yeah, so, the pharmaceutical manufacturing space is where our primary focus is, even though we apply in labs and all of that as well. Outside of validation, there's a huge amount of quality space, especially deeper into manufacturing and into the quality, the traditional quality space and the like. And, our customers are already asking us, will we do this for them? And can we do this? And we say, great, we will sit down with you. We will look at the product. We will look at what gaps you have to have a robust solution in this area. And we will bring that in due course. The one thing I will reassure the customers is that everything we're doing for the core validation is also going to enable the future, because at the end of the day, we're just developing a very intelligent, high quality, and a compliant business system that can be configured for any data and any workflow and any documents to a forms-based process. Next question. What are the most commonly requested integrations and does Kneat offer them? Yes, we have a very strong integration platform. We have a dedicated team in IT, developers and testers associated with integration. And the most common integration requirements are ERP, integrating with their ERP systems, integrating such as SAP, integrating with doc management systems, integrating with automation testing systems for IT automation testing. And they're probably the most common. I'm probably forgetting one or two now, but these are what, integration is a big thing, and we put a lot of effort into that, and we have a very robust, secure integration capability. If a customer asks for something that's not one of those systems, we're ready to go. It's there for them. We just have to do a little bit of consulting with them so that they know what to do on their side to complete the integration. So okay. Next question. Best single reason to buy the stock today? That's a very good question. For me, I would say this is a product that was built over many years by dedicated, passionate people who really understood the business. And this is not generic software can't solve this problem. The software we've created is really suited for purpose. Talk to any of our customers. All our customers are fans. They love our software. The reason to buy our software is because we deliver business value in our software. And the platform is growing in strength in multiple dimensions. So I think that's all the questions I have, and we're just almost at the top of the hour, or 30 minutes, half hour. So I'd like to say thank you all very much for your time today and all your great questions.